Kevin Kietzman discussed the Hill investigation on his podcast Between the Lines, but it was comments he made about head coach Andy Reid, not Hill, that got him suspended from the show.
It did not work out particularly well in his family life, and that needs to be added to this. As we're talking about the Chiefs, he wasn't real great at that either. He's had a lot of things go bad on him, family and players. He is not good at fixing people. He is not good at discipline.
Many people thought that he was referring to the drug overdose of Reid's son in 2012 after his subsequent suspension. Kietzman responded to the incident on Twitter.
I never mentioned and would never ever suggest that Coach Reid was at fault for his son's tragic death, or that any parent would be at fault for such an unspeakable tragedy.
Union Broadcast, which owns the station and where Kietzman is a part owner, said in a statement that those comments were not, quote, to our standards. So let's welcome in Kietzman himself on the Locker Room Show. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
First of all, in the apology on Tuesday, we just played that. You said, what I said has been interpreted by many as hurtful, insensitive, and cold. So I ask you, do you personally believe that those words were hurtful, insensitive, and cold?
If you are listening to that, trying to think of that incident, of which I was not thinking about when I made the comments, absolutely. I've listened to it 10 or 12 times since it happened, and I can absolutely understand why people interpret it that way and thought that. That's on me. That's my mistake. I'm responsible. I'm wrong. I need to apologize to Andy Reid. I've been sick the last 2 days that I can't reach Andy Reid in any way. I want to apologize to him, father to father. I had no intention of invoking any memories of his son that tragically died. That was not my intent at all. I had a different thing on my mind as I was talking about that, and I'm absolutely sickened that I assume that I've upset Andy Reid, although I don't know that. I cannot get a hold of him.
Have you had a chance to talk to anyone with the Chiefs, even if it wasn't Andy?
They will not return my calls. I've received a text message back from one of the vice presidents of communications, Ted Cruz, and that's about it at this point.
So you're suspended for now. How do you feel about being taken off the air, and do you feel like that was the proper response?
Absolutely. Absolutely the proper response. Yes, I made a mistake. It's me, okay? I made a very vague, general statement that left it open for anybody to interpret whatever they wanted in that statement. And a lot of people heard one thing, a lot of people heard another. And, you know, it's my mistake. This is on me. I absolutely should have time off to think about this, try to get better, make sure that it doesn't happen again. Don't invoke somebody's family unless you're absolutely specific about what you're talking about. And I was not specific about what I was talking about. We were talking about the Chiefs, their policies of employing players or personnel or whatever that have had troubled pasts, and I was not specific to talk about the son that I was talking about who was an assistant coach for the team.
So now that you have an opportunity to be a little bit more specific, what were those comments geared towards when you spoke about his family life?
Okay, it absolutely seems trivial at this point, and I want to start this response by saying I apologize again to Andy Reid. I screwed up. This is on me and nobody else. If I left it open for interpretation, and there are people out there that would interpret that I was talking about something that happened in Philadelphia before Andy Reid was here, a story that we don't know anything about in this city, if that's what they thought I was talking about, I get it. I get it. People are going to hear what they want to hear. They're going to see it. I totally heard it. And after the fact, when you say, hey, this happened with Andy Reid's other son, I listened to it. I'm like, well, of course they could hear that. Of course they could hear that. So that's on me. And I apologize to Andy Reid. My thought process was of a call that we had a few days earlier, last week, and something that's been talked about several times on the show over the last 3 months. And that has been, and I constantly get this call, how is Britt Reid the only defensive coach that didn't get fired? I don't think anybody in the city knows that Andy Reid has a son coaching for the Chiefs, okay? That's what I was thinking about. It's not an excuse. I take full blame for everything that has happened. Complete blame. It's on me, okay? But you can believe me or not believe me. It's what I was thinking about. We were talking about personnel, hires, staff, coaches, players, the whole thing. I was going to break. I had done a 20-minute start to the show about Tyreek Hill, and I got out over my skis. I started talking about that, said we're going to come back with calls. Let's keep it to football. What's going to happen going forward? What do you think the Chiefs should do? And I made that comment, and it was stupid. It was absolutely stupid and harmful and wrong. It's on me.
How long did it take you to become aware that maybe those comments were harmful?
You know, the amazing thing was we ran it at 2:20. That's when it aired. It was the very start of the show. It aired again. We have a bonus hour at 6 o'clock where it ran again. Nobody at our station thought twice of it. Nobody at our station. We heard nothing from the Chiefs. We heard nothing from a caller. We have thousands of people listening. Nobody thought anything of my comments when they heard it in the context of a 24-minute monologue of Tyreek Hill. Okay, so that all happened. It's still on our website, to my knowledge. I would encourage everybody to go listen to the entire monologue and then make a decision what happened at the end. as I was getting ready to go to break and asking for people to call in. It was dumb. It was amateur hour. I've been doing this 23 years. I should be better. It was terrible. It was absolutely the wrong thing to do. But it was probably 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night before I knew anything about it. This thing went out in the Twitterverse. It became whatever they call it, doxing. All these people are, malicious, and they're ready. They're circling the wagons. They want me. It hit a couple of national websites, and that was it. It went viral, and that's where we are right now.
Well, and speaking of that, there is a petition out there, I'm sure you're aware of it, with thousands of signatures asking for you to be taken off the air permanently. Now, it's not the first time, and also many national media members have asked for you to resign, but you are a partner at Union Broadcasting, which owns WHB. So how can there be proper discipline for what you say when you are a part owner of the station?
Well, I think the proper discipline is taking place right now. Okay? My partners control that. Chad Boger's the president and general manager of our company. He's making these decisions. All right? And I'm going to go along with him. He knows what's best for the company. I'm all in. What's best for the company is best for me. But I'm not resigning. I'm not resigning. We're sitting here talking in an atmosphere in the city where we have these football players that have committed all these crimes in the past, and they do all these things. We give them second chances. I was the only guy in this city when they drafted Tyreek Hill that's like, give this man a second chance. The 96% chance is he's never going to do it again. That's what the prosecutors in Oklahoma were saying. I believe in second chances. I believe in Tyreek Hill's second chance. The Chiefs believe in second chances. Some words, some misspeaking live on radio, no second chance. I'm not resigning.
Well, you've repeatedly said that Andy Reid's son's death was not on your mind when you made those comments. Do you believe that that makes your comments any more acceptable?
No, absolutely not. If people heard that and that's what they thought I was talking about, that's on me. My job is to be concise, clear, and get it right. Okay? Not to be thinking in my head, okay, I'm thinking about Andy now and his part in this thing, and then I'm thinking about Britt Reid, although I didn't say his name. I'm thinking that, and just quit, Kev. I was thinking to myself, get out of here and get on to the break and go to the next segment. That's amateur hour. That's absolutely amateur hour. Be specific about what I'm talking about. And if I had, it would have made perfect sense and there would have been no controversy at all. That's on me. This is my fault. Anybody that interpreted it the way they wanted to interpret it and thinks in their mind that I was talking about Andy Reid's son that passed tragically, I can't change their mind. What I can tell you is we've spent years, and my wife's here with me tonight, we know 6 families, we know 6 parents that have lost children through either suicide or accidents. This is our charity. This is what we do. This is what we do. The Chiefs helped me last year raise $19,000 for Children's Mercy Hospital with the help of Patrick Mahomes for suicide prevention research with teenagers. We know people, we have friends that their kids took their lives. Okay, I don't go on and make comments in some flippant regard about a parent that lost a child. That's not who I am. People who know me know that's not who I am. And it just saddens me that people would think that I'm making a comment after 23 years of being on the air about a parent that lost a child. I'm sorry.
Kevin, how do you separate who you are versus what you say on air?
I mean, I don't know. That's a really deep question. My mind, all I'm thinking about right now is these parents and the people that I know. And I sat in my office today with a coworker who lost a kid a few years in a car wreck, and I had seen him yesterday, and I loved the man, and I know how much it hurt him that he lost his child. And I said, you know what? I talked to you yesterday, and you helped me out, and I never even thought. Did you hear my words in a way that other people did, and not the way most people that I know did? And he said, oh, no, it's not like that. I said, man, I am so sorry. I am so sorry because I got so wrapped up in this thing that I got a friend that I'm with yesterday that I don't even think to say, hey, man, seriously, I love you. I love you is what I told him. I love you. And I just.
So, Kevin, you'll be back on air soon. Do you believe you deserve to be back on air?
I do. I absolutely do. Because the intent and the thought was never there to say anything about Andy Reid and his son that tragically died. None. Zero. Zero thought. Zero. Nothing. That was not it. That was not it.
Kevin, thank you so much for your time. We'll be right
Dani.
back.
Thank you.